Please. So, it is very, very, very cold where I am right now. Should be shaking, but anyway, I'm not. We have kids, Lebo. We have beautiful souls that we tend to, that we love, and like everybody keeps telling me, they're a blessing from God. So God has blessed us with kids. We are appreciative of that. There's just this one element that we somehow fail to acknowledge. It's that it's challenging raising different individuals in the same household when you are possibly a single parent, or even if there's just two of you in the house. I'm sure bedtime stories or bedtime talks or pillow talk, it's not always about, but did you see what this child did? Or are you aware that she's doing this? Why? Who do you think did that? So we tend to be parents. We tend to discuss kids behind the curtain. Yeah, we tend to talk about them behind the curtain. We're like, lo ya hlanya lo. But this one. But anyway, let's go. Welcome to True Syrup, the podcast, people. I am Press, and this is Lebu. We touching base on not only raising kids, and not only raising kids right, because I'm sure all the parents want what's best for their kids. But there's this thing, man, that we somehow struggle with, is adapting to the kids' abilities, The other one might have the ability to play soccer, and maybe that's dad's favorite sport, The other one might be just somebody who does not even like sports at all. And possibilities are that's the one we like, but why don't you just like soccer? Can you just please like soccer? Okay, like cricket then, like anything. But that one is just an introvert who just lives alone in the corner. And I know there's a lot of them out there. So I want to say to parents, it's not a challenge. It is somehow, for me, it's a reflection of your parenting. And that you need to be challenged in order to raise a good child. So it's not a challenge also. It is how this child came into this world. And like we keep saying, they have different views of looking at things. How difficult is it living in a household where all the kids are different? The other one feels like they need to go south. The other one feels like they need to go north, and that's just okay. How difficult is it for you to find common ground and say, I need to learn how to adapt to this kid's abilities, man, separately? Because obviously they've got different needs. Even twins have got different needs.
Different needs. I think it's challenging, like you said, hey, and even besides your own kids, we tend to look at other people's kids as well and try to measure or compare our kids with other children. Like when you are here, let's say even for a parent who only has one child, you are here sitting here, your friends are doing 1, 2, 3 type of a thing. So it's easy for parents to do that, but we just need to, it's not easy to adapt, honestly, because sometimes I think, not that it's not easy, it can become tricky in a sense that, remember, we must have some sort of consistency. And sometimes you might have some sort of structure within your household, and you prefer, at this time it's this, at this time it's that, and this time it's that. And it can become a bit difficult to jungle amongst more than one person with different needs. And sometimes you'll be sitting there, but if ever they can all enroll for soccer, like I'm killing 3 things at the same time, type of a thing. Instead of now having to now at soccer and then after soccer, and sometimes it's not even at the same time, or you need to split yourself and say, now this one is soccer, now this one is rugby, or whatever it is chess. And they all want you to be there at the same time and be present, because the minute you appear to be supportive of the other one more than the other one, then it also can cause a bit of dilemma. But I think sometimes we can do it intentionally, where we compare kids and not refuse or not easily adapt to our kids' abilities. Or sometimes we do it not consciously so.
That's the sad part there.
Because I know with me, I might do it unconsciously because you thinking at the back of your head, because I'm very structural, that when I do this, it's more convenient for me and not necessarily more of, is it convenient for my kids? It's more of they need to fit into my calendar instead of me trying to juggle things around and accommodate both my kids.
There was one time you were in a, I don't know if I should say, a conference call with both of your kids, and I'm still laughing at this incident where your son was like, "Are we not done? How many minutes were you guys speaking so far? When he said
He can't deal with more than 5 minutes.
of video call?
Like he cannot deal with more than 5 minutes. And I think with my daughter, we share, I don't know if it's a female thing or just that we share a lot of things in common. So I don't want to be more of a stereotype type of thing. But we tend to be in agreement in most cases, comparing to my son in terms of how we want things. So when it comes to him, a maximum, and it's a sense of, I think we spoke about it last time when I said maybe I'm old school.
Yeah.
I prefer the talking, the call, the one-on-one interaction. And then you will call him when he's busy with his PlayStation or whatever. Like, can we just not disturb him?
But how does that challenge you as a parent? Because you also have your own way of looking at things. And some of the things is traditional. You were taught these things from the young age. How does that challenge you when you meet a child who's like, no, that's just maybe too much for me right now, or I don't want to right now, when you desperately want to?
I actually had to explain to him. Because for him, it was more of, Mama is becoming a pain, you know? Mama is always on my case and all those type of things. Because obviously for him, it's a mere thing. When you call him and he gets a missed call, he's not going to bother and return
I like that.
your call, you know? And you must call him again. It's either for, but didn't you see my missed call? Didn't you see my message? Like, yeah, I saw it. And that's okay for him, but that's his personality. But I had to explain to him because from my side, it's hurting me that I'm calling, I'm putting in some effort to communicate. You're not here with me, but at least with the advantage of technology, I get to spend a bit of a few minutes with you per day. And now for us to make the best of that 1 minute, and for you it seems like it's okay even if you miss 2 days or 3 days without speaking to your mother. And I honestly had to explain to him that the reason why I'm calling it's because, and I will also love to hear from you and hear that you're okay and see you're okay. It's not more of, so now as well from our side, like you said, we now understand I can't force him to be on call for more than 5 minutes because he's not going to listen to us. He's going to be there. The video thing, or sometimes he pauses the video and then he makes the screen look up and then you're going to see the ceiling only. And then he'll be busy with his own stuff while you guys are there. So it's a matter of us understanding each other. So sometimes I'll tell him, can you just give us 2 minutes of your time without interrupting you? Just pause the game. If it's a live game, then unfortunately, I know we need to hang up and wait for him to come back to. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of us understanding each other. And for you to have that open communication with your kids in terms of what you prefer, and acknowledging and accepting that for them, as much as a parent, you expect your child to adhere to your rules and regulations. You also need to be open-minded and understand where they're coming from, and somehow come up with a way of meeting each other halfway without the other one feeling otherwise based on whatever you guys are trying to work out.
Two things. There are kids that I think I've noticed this thing with a lot of kids, is that when they start going through something, something that they think it's personal to them, which comes with growing up and a lot of emotions, because once you grow up, the emotions tend to spike a little bit because you're moving into that scene of becoming a teenager. The challenges of you knowing when to step in and you knowing when to back up, how do you decipher that for you? I think for me, it's just, I do a lot of listening, but how do you, for you, how do you make sure that you understand the boundaries which are invincible, but they are still there? Because there are times when as parents, we need to take a step back and look at our kids and then raise them from afar. And there's a time when we need to step in and assist them, even without them telling us.
Yeah. So I think it's a matter of just trying to understand your children.
Yeah.
You need to understand the unspoken words, like you say.
Yes.
So you get to a point where you need to honestly be in a position where you just view and analyze your own child. Some kids, just the same as when they see me and I say certain things and they can say, okay, this mommy's not happy with this.
Yeah.
Just from, even without me expressing it, but based on maybe my facial expression or my tone of voice, they can pick up that things are not okay. They must. It's the same thing we need to do as well. Some kids, they might not, especially with my daughter, I can pick up the minute when she's quiet. She's not usually the quiet type. But the minute where she's like, yes, no, you can see she's there, but she's not really there. But somehow, maybe she doesn't want to be more rude and saying, you know what, I need my own space. So I read between the lines. Do I get it right altogether? I don't know. And I don't think so. But I think as well as when I feel that I need to be in, and as much as they might not feel that I need to be in, I need to explain to them why I need to be in.
Yeah.
I need to, so that they must understand, I'm not here to, somehow maybe they feel otherwise. I'm not here to make you feel worse, but as your mother, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this thing, I'm not happy and I'm concerned about 1, 2, 3. Can we talk about 1, 2, 3? However, though, I'm going to tell you what I think. If ever you're not ready to talk about it, that's okay. When you are ready, then you can come to me. But for now, can I just share what I think I want to share with you? So it's just a matter of not enforcing our authority as a parent on your child. And I think this is where we miss it as parents. We just want our kids to feel, yes, I'm the mom, I'm the dad, and what I say goes whenever I want. It doesn't matter how you feel or whatever the case may be. While we're forgetting that we're dealing with individuals with different personality, and we also need to respect their space as well, so that they can also be able to respect us.
I love the fact that you touched on enforcing authority on your kids. Why? I once had a discussion with one lady who was brutally raped, and her virginity was taken from her. The unfortunate part is that she couldn't find it in herself to talk to her mother about it and say, look, this is what happened to me. And it happened 1, 2, 3, 4. What I picked up from that was not necessarily the action of being in that situation, but it's the fact that she couldn't phantom the power to talk to her mom. And the reason was that she believes her mom will not understand, and she would rather be scolding her for allowing it to happen. And I think that's the reason why I'm asking this question in this way, that how do we know that we need to step in? Because now, mind you, your child is in university by that time, and she comes home and she's all normal to you. You do not even pick up anything, which sometimes I think parents say we're not super parents. We can only do so much. And at times we need to let other people intervene, So me not knowing what to say, I kind of felt the load that she's carrying is that she wants to tell her mom. Now, this is like 2 years after this whole incident. You understand? But I said to her, look, once you get it out of your chest, it stops owning you.
Yeah.
It stops being a burden on you. Because the only burden that you are carrying is that you love your mom, but you can't tell her this thing because she'll turn it around on you.
But here's the thing now, and that's why I said, as much as parents, we need to acknowledge our kids' abilities and who they are. It's also important for our kids as well to understand who we are.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe on a general thing, I can turn it around and put it back on you because maybe she's trying to enforce some sort of accountability and responsibility depending on whatever principle that she's trying to put or instill on the child. However, though, you cannot sit there and assume based on your experience that, but my mom is like this, my dad is like this. And it's the same as a parent. I cannot sit there and say, my child is like this. And that's just the way it is. We need to get to a point where we give people the benefit of the doubt. Because what you're talking about, it's a very sensitive thing, you know. It's a different thing than a child saying they're in trouble for doing something at school with their friends. This is a different scenario altogether. So you cannot necessarily compare apples with oranges or whatever fruit it might be, because they are different. And I always even tell there was a time I was telling my kids the other time that you must bear in mind that I'm also a human being.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm gonna hurt you guys, and not that I'm hurting you guys intentionally. So sometimes I will say something because we are humans. As a parent, I'm frustrated. Things are not going well. I've got pressure. I've got stress. You need this. You need that. And that pressure can get to me. And within that, with me as a parent dealing with whatever is going on in my life, I might say things to you without actually being aware, because maybe you just got me at the wrong time. However, I told them that once I do something, I've said it and I usually say it every time when I get a chance, that if ever there's been an incident where I've hurt you, I've hurt your feelings, please let me know. Please let me know, because then maybe I'm not aware. If ever I am, then I will apologize. And if ever maybe you misunderstood and I need to explain myself, then allow me to do that. But don't just sit there and keep that thing, because it's going to grow, and then in the end, you're going to end up not being, having resentfulness against your parent. So as much as I know some parents, we can appear to be bold, we can appear to be strict, we can appear to be whatever category your child might think. But when you are happy, when you whatever, ask those random questions. Because then the minute may be really informal and you can say, oh no, today or happy, then maybe that might be a platform for your child to just open up. But it's a two-way, it's a bit tricky one, because there are those relationships where with your parent, it's those uptight ones where it's just more of a hello. No, that situation where your father or your mother comes in and like the mood changes and like, can they just go? Type of thing. And as much as you wish to have a relationship with them, but
it never comes around.
But they just, because now we define parenting differently, and our kids, they've got different expectations about us in terms of how we need to parent them versus what we think we need to do in order to be parents. So I think the only way we can solve this in terms of whether as a parent I need to accommodate my kids and their differences, and I think it's just communication. It's just open communication. It should not be always in the sense of when we reprimand our kids, then that is the only time we call that a conversation, you know. But somewhere, somehow, we need to get to a point, because if ever our kids learn from us, let's just be honest. And the minute I don't show, because kids learn by what they see and what they hear. And the minute I don't show them certain things or I don't say certain things, it becomes difficult for them to come and such as such. Unlike when they see it with a parent demonstrating those qualities, it becomes easier for them to adapt those things. But it's a difficult one. It's a tricky one. But I just think that as a parent, we just need to be not too hard on ourselves, but at the same time, we need to analyze ourselves in terms of our parenting skills.
Oh, I love how I think for me also comes down to the enforcement of the law.
Yeah.
You know, kids are like AI these days. They get very smart by the day, you know? And that's why they're able to get away with almost everything without you even putting your nose on it. So it becomes a challenge for us to even say, my child will not do this. So it becomes a challenge for you also to say, when somebody tells you, hey, your child, oh, and then you're like, no, not my child. And sometimes you find out, actually, your child is guilty of something. But you are right, leveling the playing fields. And I remember there used to be one of my friends when we were in school told me that, hey, when my father starts disciplining you, he does it through a prayer. You know, when parents pray and they involve you in the prayer, sometimes it goes something like this: Dear God, this child is tempting me. And by that time,
And you can hear the
you are here. It's a family prayer, and your father is like, dear God, if you don't fix this child, but he's not mentioning names.
Yeah.
And then he's telling God, like, God,
But you know
but
what
you
you
know,
did.
because obviously he says things like, he went out today and he came late. I don't know what to do anymore, you know? So, and then when you say amen, you're like, man, it's just me all the way, bro. You know, so when you say that we should not only be having conversations when it's time to scold or discipline kids, it also becomes a question of when kids are able to come and tell you, if I am pregnant, you know, it goes back to, are you, you know, how kids fear when you, I think last week my son came home and he had torn his pants, and he said something. I said, but why didn't you tell me? He didn't tell me. It's cold. He didn't tell me. Like, no, I want to wear shorts today. You know, just want to wear shorts. I feel like I've been wearing long pants all day. So I'm like, why? Why do you want to wear shorts? It's cold. It's winter. Nah, just, you know. He's not telling me that he had his pants torn. And just the other
So
week,
he's trying to outsmart you.
exactly. Just the other week, went to fix his sister's jacket. Everything was okay. We even went together. But when it's now his turn to get his pants fixed, he's not saying anything. You understand? And that got me questions like, why wouldn't he tell me? I did not understand. You know. And then he said, no, but I was afraid. Afraid of what? Because I think this is an accident. It's not like you will literally take a glass and tore your pants up. So why didn't you tell me? No, I was afraid of telling you because you scolded me. Like, no. Why didn't I scold your sister? Because I just asked her what happened. And I was okay, let's go. And it kind of showed me that there's different ways of approaching certain things. And kids will approach you in a different way also. Even if you've done nothing wrong. You know, they just outgrow certain rules that you've placed in place for them to survive. And enforcing certain laws also leaves them little room to make decisions for themselves and to be accountable for those decisions.
But I think as well as kids need to understand, because I had a similar situation with my child once, they need to understand that me reprimanding you as a parent, it does not mean that I don't love you. Me reprimanding it's because I do love you. So they must not take it as more of, when that happens, it's more of a parent not showing them love. When you don't do something, and I even said it the other time, I was like, and I will still reprimand you. I'm still gonna reprimand you. when I think and I see things that are not going well, I'll say, if ever I've overreacted, I will come back to you once I'm calm and I will apologize. But either way, I'm not just going to sit there and I have to reprimand you.
Yeah. So you see, we are learning things that some of us were never taught growing up.
Yeah.
We are learning things that we are only finding out. When your mother says, "Don't worry, you will find out when you grow up," that's actually a threat. It's a threat because you don't know what's in front.
Yeah.
But you're just there like, I hope it's not what she says it is. When they say they don't have money, you're like, but you go to work every day until you start working. And they ask you for money, like, I don't have money. Exactly. Yeah. So it goes back to, it's a two-way process. Yeah. You have your own way of dealing with life as a child, and sometimes it requires me to step in and assist you. But there are certain things which you can handle on your own. I think ours right now, where I think we are getting it right as parents, that we need to protect kids. And kids do not understand. When you tell them, don't go out late at night, it's only because I don't want you to have fun. I'm trying to protect you.
But I think this is where we need to explain, why am I saying don't go out at night? Because, and I could pick it up with my parents, with all the other elders. Parents tend to instill fear on kids. Yeah. And besides instilling fear, now you are making me curious.
Yeah.
And
I need to go and find out.
And what happens when the person is curious?
Yeah.
So you will rather explain and sit and explain as to why am I saying that do not go outside at a specific time. This happens, this. I remember now the other time I was telling my daughter as well, at my age, when I was your age, things were a whole lot different than what's happening now. Yes, I used to do this, I used to go out, but by then it was very safe. Our parents, even if you were playing in the street until 8, 9, they were just okay, and they knew you are here and you're going to come back home. They'll even just shout at you that you are dirty, that you're going to make the sheets and bedding dirty and you must just take a bath. But other than that, now we live in an environment where now even when she goes out, you tell her, you must be cautious when you buy your drink. You must not leave it open.
Yeah.
You must hold it with
It's dangerous now.
You must hold it with you.
Yeah.
Whatever, because there are people there are kids out there who are involved in substance abuse. Not because they tried it willingly. It's because somebody did put it in their drink or something else. And then in the end, they became hooked from it. So I think we just need to get to a point where you explain. You explain to your kids as to why. I think we even spoke about it the other time, that I wish somebody explained to me why in the Bible they say no sex before marriage is a sin. If ever somebody explained to me the soul tie, the impact of soul ties, if ever somebody explained to me the risk or the probability of being a single parent. If ever somebody explained to me the challenges of raising a child and explaining to me the challenges of raising a child alone while the other parent is somewhere else, the dynamics, the impact of it, that would have made me understand why are you saying sex before marriage is a sin. But now people just say it. It's being preached at church. We read about it. But what does it actually mean? It comes back to that point where we say, you tell your kids don't do something. You're not explaining to them. They become curious why. And as they say, it's only after, like, oh, now we've...
What you say, Aina.
While I'm way older. Oh, now that's what they meant by wanting... Because I got burnt now. And then I'm sitting like, oh, now it makes sense. But nobody, and even today, when you look at our teens and you look at how parents try to instill certain things and guide them, we're not at the point where we're more authoritative. We're not more of having a conversation with us, making you understand, and you coming to me and make me understand where are you also coming from.
Yeah, you're right. Because I think as parents, we need to take the posture of being guides. than the police and the judge and the jury. Because at some point we need to guide people. I remember when we took you know, one of those foot, I don't know what they call them, the path or the whatever's in Cape Town, where you take a walk down the jungle and stuff, and there'll be a guide, and there'll
Like
be,
more like hiking.
yes, I was hiking. Don't understand why I was doing it, but somehow I thought it would be fun. It was not. Why? Okay, so this person will continuously be telling you, okay, this tree, please don't touch this. You know, it does 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Please mind your steps. That rock is a bit. It's called 1, 2, 3. So basically, what you're getting is you're getting the whole package of somebody telling you, don't eat this. It does 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So we need to become guides more than people who enforce the law without explaining the law. Do you understand? Because some of us, kids, when they grow up, they become curious. You know, they want to know what we know. And like what we were saying the last time is that they're so quick to grow up that we need to advise them that there's nothing here. There's just all these challenges.
Yeah.
And we need money also. So it becomes a problematic situation when we can't say, if you go out at night, this is the possibility of what will happen to you. And if you don't adhere to my warnings, because I know certain things that you don't know, and it's very important for you to listen to me, not because I want you here at home all the time. I also need my own space, so I need you gone at times. But we need to be guides, we need to be motivators, we need to be everything in one, just to make sure that these kids survive. Because there comes a level in their lives when they need to instill the same things they've learned from you. And I think that's where I'm finding it a bit of a challenge, because as a father now, raising kids, it becomes a tough job when your father was not there and they were not there or able to instill certain things. And you have learned certain things with life that you can say, but no, this is wrong. You know, we know what is wrong, we know what is right now. So we are able to say, not because we don't blame it anymore on having a father anymore. We're like, yeah, he was not there, so I am here, you know, and we need to learn as we live. And hence I'm saying we need to be guides. Instead of taking this walk here, maybe we need to turn it around and take it this way, because we still need to let them grow on their own. And I think that's the challenge part with most parents. They're so worried. They want to preserve.
But I think as well as, I like the part where you said our parents also, they were parents in a certain way. And there are certain things you can analyze and say, that was right, that was wrong. So there are certain things that you wish that your parents could have done. Whether better or they could have changed, whatever the case might be, in terms of how you think and based on your expectation in terms of how they need to parent you. So now you already have an idea of what type of a parent you want. Whether your parents met that expectation or not, that's another topic for another day. But you already have an idea as to what type of a parent that you want. That's why you are able to say, this is right, this is wrong, this is not working. So the minute you can analyze and you can have that picture of the type of parent that you want, why not become that parent to your child? And now based on whatever feedback, because obviously we have different love language, we receive things differently, then you will adjust it to accommodate your child accordingly based on the feedback. Because whatever you have pictured or whatever type of parent that you think you want to have, it might not be necessarily what your child have, but chances are you are rectifying the mistake that either your grandparents, your father, they have made. And now it stops with you, because now you're at the point where you've analyzed it and you said, this is not working. If ever I continue with the same guidelines that came from my forefathers or folk, once I take that and just put down, then nothing is going to change. However, once you're at the point like, okay, it stops here with me now. Now then you introduce something different that you think that might work, because based on the gap that you've analyzed from your parents.
And folks, that's how we adapt to our kids. It's I think for most parents, it's back to the drawing board, and for the other ones, it's continuous where you left off. But it's all not all doom, It's all doom and gloom. I think certain things we've been doing. The first thing that you did right was loving that child and wanting the best for this child. And remember, wanting the best for this child does not mean you spoiling the child. It just means you becoming more of a guide into this life, which is full of mazes. You never know where to turn. You never know where to go. And we need to understand also that times have changed. Like Label said, it was safe when we grew up, I remember we used to play on the streets up until 10 o'clock. And that's when my mom will step out and say, hey, if you don't come home now, sleep there. Like, hold on. You literally can see me. I am here. So it goes back to parenting. It goes back to loving. It goes back to being kind to one another. Because as a parent, they also need to adjust to you as a parent. They also need to adjust. Don't forget that.
Yeah, it's a two-way.
It's a two-way street type of a business. But we are also learning as young parents, and we're growing up and we're finding out new things every day. So as much as we feel that this world is full of a lot of things, there are good things also that can come out of it, like our kids. So let's go out there and love them, and protect them and guide them. Let us not throw them to the dogs and say, okay, you see, now you shall see. And that's when they start saying, okay, let me just go and find out.
But the thing is, that doesn't solve anything. When you say, let's see, at the end, you're gonna be the one as a parent who need to help them anyway now when they've hit rock bottom. While if ever, I'll rather deal with the warning signs now than having to deal with the impact later. And like, you're like, oh, if only I did, if ever. No, you sitting there and saying that, let's see where they will end up. You're not doing you're not solving anything. And as well, you're not doing yourself anything good and your child.
No. But it takes two to tango. One day we are going to be talking about how important it is for us to show up as parents to whatever activity that our kids might be having. I saw an emotional video recently, which led me to believe that we have a lot of things that we need to show up for as parents. But hey, while we are walking there, let's just focus on raising these beautiful flowers together. People, it was nice having you. Bye.
Bye.